1 week free access to the trading room remaining for those who haven't joined. Good morning, traders. My name is Anil Mangal. You're watching this in YouTube, which means we're translating live from our trading room. For those of you who would like to join us in the trading room where we are right now, we had offered a month ago for traders to join, and some traders join. I repeat it at the start of this month, which means we give you 2 weeks more, because last month I was sick. So we give everybody 2 weeks more. Some traders joined again, and some traders are still trying to figure out how to join. Now, this thing is not rocket science. So if you're having issues with joining, send me a message. If you had already sent me your email and your full name, but you haven't received an email, check your spam. If you received the email, but you couldn't set up your two-factor authentication, send me a message on Skype, and I will give you a video on how to do that. Now, a video was sent to everybody's email. And still out of the, I think, 20-something people who hadn't registered, only 2 managed to join. So 18 still figuring out a 5 minutes video on how to set up two-factor authentication. Trading is not easy, right? But I can guarantee you it's much, much harder than setting up two-factor authentication. So if you're having difficulty setting up a two-factor authentication, think very hard if trading is for you. Now, I know that sounds very, very not nice, but it's reality, right? I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to tell you the real story of things. If you want to be a trader, it is difficult. Unlike everything else you heard on YouTube, where somebody will come and say, I spend a $10,000 in an ad to tell you, you need to spend 15 minutes learning this strategy and you're going to make $2,000 every day, which by itself is false, because they don't know how much money you have to make $2,000. So what if I have $1 million? Only $2,000 I'm going to make a day? And what if I have 500? Would I still make 2,000 a day? So the narrative in itself is false, because you can't promise people to make any amount of money if you don't know what capital they have. The second thing, you should never trust anyone to tell you that if you come and learn this stuff, you're going to be a successful trader, because no one knows that. That's impossible to tell that if you do this, you will suddenly become a successful trader. No, you wouldn't. It's like someone saying, if you go to Harvard Law, you will be the president of America. And they'll probably show you how many presidents of America went to Harvard Law School. But that doesn't mean you are going to be the one to be the president of America. It's not possible. So people who telling you those stories are outright lying to you because they think you're stupid. And if you actually accept that challenge, you're probably stupid. Because if you can't figure out those two things, that they don't make sense, nobody can promise you success. People can promise you to try and see, hey, come do this. People have used this and become successful. It doesn't mean you will. Right? It's like running running a 100-meter sprint, and they're telling you, look, if you follow the coach say, if you do what I tell you, you're going to be number one. Well, maybe not. Especially if Usain Bolt is in the run, you're not going to be number one. Right? You have to be better than him, and that's not a tell for a fact. But can you get into the race? Yeah, sure. Can you become a good runner? Sure, you will become. That's what we can promise you, that you will become a good trader. How successful, it's up to you. It's an individual thing. It's something you would learn. If any coach out there is honest, they will tell you, your success depends on you. We will give you every tool you need to be successful. Because what we're doing, we have successful traders in the group. You will meet them when you join us. You come this 1 week free, and you will meet those successful traders. The problem is, can you actually do what they're doing? Using the same tools they're using, the same analysis. They're in the same group with you. They get the same amount of information. They have learned the same course that I trained them with. And then how good they become. You watch football, you see the team. Everybody get trained by the same coach. Not all of them play good. And that's an individual skill thing, right? It's individual. Your success is yours. It's very individual. So when you come here, you will have an idea of what we do, and you will decide whether this as a method is good for you. We're not promising you anything. We're just saying, join us for free and make your own decision. I believe you're smart enough to make that decision, that, you know what, I think this will help my trading, or this is not going to help my trading. That's all. That's your choice. Join us, right? No promises, no obligation. Just join us free. For you to join us free, send me a message on Skype. My Skype is in the description, but just in case you missed the description, here is what it looks like. MANGAL 457. That's my Skype name, Skype ID. You send me a message there, said you would like the last remaining week free, because this week is the last remaining week free. You would like to access, and we will set you up. Now you have to send me your full name and your email immediately. We will create an account for you, and you will get an email, and we will send you a video on what to do next. A very short video will explain everything in detail, what you need to do, how you need to set up the account, how you can join the live sessions. The 2 live sessions you get access to is the London session, which is at 8 a.m. London time, and the New York session, which is at 8 a.m. New York time. Those are the 2 free sessions we give you access to. We do more sessions. Like right now, we are in the trading room live every day, but you don't have access to this one because you're not a full-time member. If you become a full-time member, then you will actually have access to this. That said, let's move on. So if you were with us, let me take this out. If you were following us last week, you would remember we were looking at the dollar. Let me go to the dollar index, and I was telling you it's still in the consolidation. As you can see, it's still in, and we actually said we expect this to go down. Well, it went down, it made another one, and it dropped again, and it looks like it's going to go down a little more here, right? Looks like this is probably going to drop one more. And then we have this as the correction. See this? So if you're getting all of these corrections in here, the chances are that is not the final impulse to the downside. If this is the drop here and go back up one more, we would look for this possibility. 1, 2, 3, making a flat here, and then probably coming back here. But what if I'm wrong and, well, this was all the consolidation, or this was some kind of a running flat? That is strange because this doesn't have any huge correction in it, right? There are ways we look at how we analyze patterns and think it is. So if you have to ask me based on what we use as methods of analyzing and creating patterns, I would say that the likely chances we're going to come back here. This is probably going to drop here, go back there, and then come back here before it goes. Now that would still be a flat. It will be something like this. So pretty much all of that is consolidating at the top of this move, which means we are likely going to go back up, right? In very rare cases, this is a good example. You see when this one was doing all of this, we pretty much figure out that this would be a flat, and that will go out of it, right? So we're doing that here, and we're trying to figure out that this might eventually be a flat and go out of that. Pretty easy. It's not that complicated. But then there are times when instead of that, especially when you're at a very high point, that you do get a flat here, but that flat comes here and don't go back up. Instead, it drops. But that is rare. It's not a common thing you will see. What you want to see if this is an extreme level on the daily or the weekly. So as you can see, it's not an extreme level. So I don't think that is going to happen. I think the most likely thing is going to happen is we're going to make this flat here, and we are coming back for this stop. And that should not surprise you, because if you're watching any of my videos, you would know that we said if it comes here and it comes here and it starts to go back up, we're going to expect it to eventually get back to this stop. And from there, everything changes, because from there, that is only 3-piece. Is this a complete flat, or is that part of a bigger correction? And it's not like you haven't seen a correction like that, because if you haven't seen it, then you don't know anything about trading. So what we're looking for is what's going to happen in here for our trade today. Let's go back to the 15 minutes. That's a 1-hour chart. And the 1-hour chart, like you see, this one is looking like a small flag. Let's go to the 15. Yep, it is a small flag. You've got a small flat here, a very small one. And you're getting a really small flag here, which means this is going to drop. But how far would it go? What do we expect from that? There's a lot of divergence. And even if we were to break this low, we will still have divergence. So even if we were to break that low there, it will still have divergence. We might eventually see internal divergence in this, something like that. And that means there's a high probability of us seeing this happen today. So if you ask me, would I sell that? The only way I would sell that is if I think there's risk to reward, which means I'm going to put my money at risk and there's very good reward in that. As far as I'm concerned, there isn't. I don't see risk to reward in that now. I don't see this dropping all the way to the bottom here. And let me clear this up with especially the people who are very idle in their life and don't want to learn, but instead want to go and make comments that are very dumb sometimes on the internet. And I don't think I'm abusing anybody if I say internet does have a lot of dumb comments on it, right? So Well, what I'm saying is I'm not saying it's not going to do that. It could happen. Anything is possible here. And it might even happen, but I would not be in that trade. Because I'm not guessing my way to say, okay, let me see, I'll just put the trade on and hope that it goes. I don't trade hope. Hope is not a strategy for me. I trade patterns, precise patterns. And as far as I'm concerned, a very good precise pattern would be this breaking the low, going back up here, making a flag and go there. That is, if I get this, I will definitely get this trade. Or I will go for that trade. Because that makes sense in terms of patterns that we see in the past. Now, if it drops, I wouldn't be in the trade because I don't like it. This is not the way this is going down. It's not promising me a big move right now. I have not seen that happen so often in the past. So if I take 100 trades and I see this here, that's set up with what we have, there's probably about 10, 20 of them or less that will actually do this, maybe even 10. I'm going for the 90% that is going to stop here, go back up, make a flag, and then go for this. This will be 90% of them. 80 to 90% of them. So I'm interested in that. I'm not interested in the chance of will this one be the one that drop, especially if I don't have an exit strategy. And in this case, you don't have an exit strategy. The way I look at it, there is no exit strategy because I wouldn't be surprised if this does break the low like this, but then reverse really fast like this, make a flag here, and my stop would be somewhere here, which means I'll be stopped out. I'll watch it do this and then go. And by the time you're stopped out in a trade like this, you're not buying this. If you're trading for the day and you took the sell here and it does this to you and take you out there, you're not buying this thing to the upside no matter what. Psychologically, it's difficult to do. Right? Here is a good example. See this? Drop, go back up, make this flag, and go up. Now, this one would have given you break even by our rules. And I think we sold that because this was the first move down. So that was a sell. And by our rule, you probably got break even if you follow the rules, right? So this one is not a good trade. Although I can tell you that very, very high probability this thing's going to drop here. We just wouldn't trade it down. So I'm going to wait for a buy setup on that. Silver, you see this line here? You want to know why I put that arrow there? Well, if you were in my trading room, you would know. But if you're not in the trading room, you would know that this arrow is a replica of this. And as we were sitting in the trading room, I tell you guys, you see this here? This is a buy setup. But you have to be really, really, really careful if you're going to take that trade. And if you're going to take that trade, keep your stop under this one. Because this sharp move here will come in the future. And it actually happened right in the trading room. But if you were in the trading room with me, you should have closed and you bought this. You should have closed the trade here. That was the agreement we had. You were not supposed to wait for it to come here. So if this happened in the trading room, like once this started to go back up and it gets close enough to that, close the trade. Take this small loss. And if you want to buy it back, well, then you'll be looking for a buy somewhere from here, which means you're in the same trade, except now instead of hoping that it goes back there, you could take it from here to go, take that small loss, and you still have this profit. Because we expected that running flat to happen. Not magic. That line didn't come there by magic. We weren't expecting magic to happen. We have seen this pattern in the past. We've seen it very often. Now, I might be even wrong about that pattern. No, I'll tell you why I'll be wrong. Although it came down there, because I'm looking at this having too much corrections in it, and this one is really sharp. And that means I'm thinking, well, what if we still get another one? And then it goes. My trader immediately knows what I'm talking about, because I'm talking about a possible running flat that is more complex than a simple 1, 2, 3. Now, it could sometimes have corrections in one of those impulses. Nothing is wrong with that. That's a normal thing. But if that is the case, then is this ready for a drop? Or will it make one more here and go back up and then drop? Because we're expecting it to drop. So let's go back to the 1 hour. And we are expecting it to drop. Some of you might remember this one, when we thought that this would break this low and then go back really sharp back to the top. And if you were there, you'd remember why we didn't sell this, because the chances, that was during a news event when this happened. And we didn't trade it because we thought that that could happen. That it could possibly, we expect this to be a sell, but we expect that it could probably break the low and then go back up really fast and we wouldn't be able to exit the trade. And that's exactly what happened. But it didn't give us this one. This is not that trade because this has 3 pieces in it. This has 1, 2, 3. Now, nothing is wrong with the impulse having 3 pieces, But this one has a really big flat. And when they do, sometime it's part of another flat, which means it can come here and still go back up and still drop. I showed you that in this one, right? Where that possibility exists. And this would still be a flat. And then we'll be going back up for this one, which is we expect. If you get this big consolidation in here, you're going back up for another one before you come down again. So now with all of that said, you're wondering how the hell you're going to trade this. If all of those things are going to happen, how the hell is it possible to trade? Well, it's easy. First, we want the trade down. We want it to come here, and that will be a break-even trade if it comes there, or if we manage to take some profit out. And if it continues to drop, like I said, it will not be a break-even trade. It will be the trade we're looking for to break this low. But should it go back up, that'll be break-even. We'll look for a sell again, because this time we're expecting it to drop, and it has to drop beyond this low. Now, if and when it drops and we get either this one or this one on the sell, we'll also be looking for the up move, the possibility of this happening. And should it go back there but continue to go, we would assume that this one is the equivalent of this. We expect it to go back, break that up, and then probably drop again. Right? This could also break the low. This could also come here, do this or this, and then come here, break this low, but then take off. In that case, we'll be going with this as the running flat. We'll confirm that that is the running flat. We'll confirm that this one has a flat in here, and that this is totally going up. So if you have that amount of knowledge of how patterns could develop, any trade you take here will be managed accordingly to what you think could happen in the trade. Just like this one. The reason we didn't sell this is not because we didn't think it's going to break the low, which it did break the low, but we were afraid that when it breaks the low, it could go back up really fast, and that was true. Turned out to be true. So what if it had dropped like this? What if this had actually dropped like this? Well, no big deal. We'll probably be getting that on the gold, right? Because we had the gold sell as well. So you probably will be getting it in another trade, but not this one. Right? And that's the power of knowledge. That's what wave analysis does. It equips you with the knowledge of patterns so that when the chart is moving, you have an idea of what it can do. Knowing that will make you take precautions. It's like, I don't know, you're living in a place where there's always tornadoes or there are always some kind of storm going on, and you get a storm warning, you're going to lock up, you're going to prepare. Of course you're going to do that. You're going to seal up, lock up, prepare for the storm. Maybe the storm doesn't come. Maybe it passes you. Maybe it turned around. Anything is possible. But you will be prepared for it because you were warned about it. And if you didn't, well, then you whatever happens to you, you'll have to take it. Which is in most cases people blowing up their accounts because they don't have any idea. So would you want the knowledge of being warned that there's a storm coming? Or would you say, oh, the hell was that? I don't care about those guys. Their forecasts are wrong. Maybe they have got the forecast wrong 1 or 2 times. But 90% of the time when they tell you a storm is coming, they're absolutely right about it. So if you're not prepared, if you're dumb enough to decide not to prepare, you take the consequences. And we've seen that. You watch TV, you've seen some people, oh, I'll just weather it out, and then they regret ever saying that. Because sometimes it's worse than they even thought it was going to be. So do you want to know the forecast or don't you want to know the forecast? That's the difference. And that's what we do here, is that we're equipped with that knowledge to do forecast. Not just a strategy, forecast and the trade. And our strategy will be based on if the forecast works, then what would we do? So what would be your strategy if a storm is coming? Let's say the last time you didn't board up your glass windows, you didn't, do all the preparation you need. And then the next thing you know, you have to replace all of them because they're all damaged. Would you create a strategy to protect that the next time? Of course you would. Well, it's the same thing we do here. We create strategies to say, well, if it should go, this is what we're going to do. And then we also have protective mechanism. If it still comes, but it didn't, or it gets worse than it was, or it didn't go the way we expected, then what do we do? And that's what we call trade management. So if you remember, I said, even if you were in this trade, you would have closed it for break even because we have rules that says when it does certain things, you have to get the hell out of it. That said, join us live. That was the longest I had to convince you to join us live so that you could start to see and change your trading, because 90% of you out there are failing. And the reason we know you're failing is because of the amount of prop companies that are popping up, telling you they'll give you money to trade, 100K demo account to trade. All you have to do is pay them $100. And the only reason they're doing this is because they know this $100 is going to them. They literally know that. They have the stats. 90% of traders fail. And the reason they have that stats is it's easy. It's out there. You can go check with any broker. So when you use all of these things, having an edge in the market will save you, right? If you follow all the rules, it will gonna help you to trade. So that's what we want to show you, how you could take advantage of that 100K. You could give them $100, take the 100K and be successful, and they pay you. We have traders in our group who have done it. I have seen it with my own eyes, the payment they receive. So I know it's possible. And I know they get the payment. One thing you'd be worried of whether all these companies are honest and they will pay. Some of them do. I don't know about all, but I can tell you some of them do. So that's the thing. You can take advantage of it if you're successful. They don't have a problem if you're successful. They just know that the majority will fail, and that's a good money-making business, right? It's up to you to choose it. They're not forcing you. They're not telling you to go lose your account. If you win, they will pay you. Most of them will, I assume. So they're not doing anything wrong. It's about you to being successful. It's in your pocket. You have to make that. Like I started with, success is individual, right? So everybody can go to the same university. Not all of them will turn out to be the same qualified lawyer or doctors, but they will be lawyer and doctors, right? Average lawyers and doctors, which we need to. You're not going to ever have all the lawyers and doctors be superstars. So you want to be a very good trader. Maybe you will become the superstar trader, but do you want to at least be a very good trader and not lose your account? Start by learning. So dollar index, you know what we're expecting, you know what we're going to do. Let's go on. Silver. Silver, we're looking for a sell to. This is going up more. There's no buy here. If you're going to buy, we need a flag. We don't have any flag. So I'll take this off. Gold. Gold looks like it's going to create a sell. So remember, I told you we sold gold on that one. This one, I think, was before. That wasn't the buy. That was the news, was the drop. So this actually stayed here. Come down. Let's see what happens here now. This looks like a flat with a 1, a 2, and a 3, because from this point, it went up, right? This went up from all the way from here going up to the top there. And then it dropped. We're getting a flag here. So if you take this out, what you have is a flat in the middle here. What you have is a flat in the middle here with a flag forming here. See this? They'll probably go back and retest that top, and then we're expecting one more drop here. Again, this drop might not go very far because definitely we're going to get divergence here, and there are too many consolidations in that. So if you pull this out from there, take it out like this, and you look at this, there's a chance that we are doing this. This comes here, drop here, go back up like that, retest this top, something like this, retest the top, make a flat here, drop. Now, in rare cases, this one could just drop and break the low and then start the up move back. So we will consider the sell here. And the gold will consider the sell because the big picture of gold is downside. I think I've shown you that many times. The big picture of gold is downside. This is the first impulse in. This is the first impulse up. We're in the middle of that consolidation, and we're in the middle of it with this piece. So this could be all the correction. This one is just making a lot of flats going down. Could probably do this, but it will come and break this low. And then we expect this to go back up. So we will sell this. We'll just manage it very carefully to get out for break even should it not go. Right? Should this decide to go back up there, make this flat, and then come here, we'll try to get break even because this one also has a 1, 2, 3 inside. So I wouldn't be surprised if this makes a 1, 2, 3 here, come back here, and then go. In that case, we wouldn't be in the trade, or we'll manage our way out of the trade. So go back to the 1 hour, and it's a sell setup that we'll take. You need it to go up first. So on the 15, I need this to go up first. If it doesn't go up, we're not selling it. We need this to go back up first because we never broke that top. We kind of stayed there, but you know, the consolidation is this. So you need this to go back here, and then we'll look for a sell from here going down. So by the time we break that low, we can get this to break even. And if we can do that, then that would be a perfect setup. Wait for this to come here. If it turns, we take profit. If it keeps dropping, we stay with it. So this would be looking for a sell setup. But first, it has to go up. Euro. Some of you guys are in the trade and the sell already. Just be careful. It's a small flag, which means that there is a possibility of it going up one more. I think we can see that clearly now. Not a buy setup. Right? Not a buy setup because we do have this sharp one. So I don't think it's a buy setup. We're probably still in this B part. You're probably still in this one. See that flag? See this one? You get a correction here. So it kind of doing this. It could come back here and then it could probably do this. I think we need a sharp drop here. Something like this. Go back up and then we look for the sell. So keep your eyes out for it. You don't need to close it because should this one drop suddenly, we'll go with contracting flat in there. There is a possibility for that contracting flat, but most likely expect this to happen. Remember, we thought this could also be over and then it dropped there. Go back there. So I think this one is pretty clear. Go there, come here, go back there, and then drop. We'll see. We'll get into the trade very soon. Let's go. Maybe this is with something in the future here, right? Remember, we thought this could be 1, 2, 3, but if you look back, it could also be that this belongs to this, right? This one here. And we could be looking at this as a 1, 2, 3 here, right? 1, 2, 3 here, sorry, with an expanding flat in the middle. And this one has nothing to do with this, and it could have something to do with something in the future here, right? This comes here, go back up, drop here, give us this flat, and still work its way up. So these patterns could get really complex, right? You have to be very careful, but it's a trade. It doesn't mean you don't trade. The possibility that we can get out for break even is very good. Pong. Okay, Pong is already making more or less a flat here. I think we can probably agree that this seems like it's making a flat here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back a little more here and then go, something like that. Pretty much 1, 2, 3. So you get one up, you get one up, you probably get one more up. Well, we can buy it. The size of these impulses are good. If we get a flag here, we can go for the buy. We can use the last impulse and go for the buy. What will that give us? Nothing much. This might be 1, 2, 3 with a flat inside here, right? And this might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back 1, 2, 3. Go back up. That seems like a more likely way to develop, especially with these two flats in here, right? So understanding how this pattern could go, you get 1, 2, 3, and then we'll see what happens after that, which means we're stuck in consolidation for a while here. And we could be stuck as if this is to do with this, come back here as a 1, 2, 3 like this, make a flat here and then starting to go up. We'll expect it to come here. And we're expecting that. It could even get more complex than that because we're looking at this one here, right? Should it get more complex, it's probably going to come here, make another flat here, go to the top, then come back here. So we're expecting this to go up, but very slow as a consolidation kind of thing, right? So you get sharp move, you get this, you get sharp move, you get a bigger one, you get sharp move, you get a consolidation, you get sharp move, and then you go down. Remember when we said this one is going to drop and go back up? We didn't have it so far. If you remember, we had it breaking this low. If you had looked at my webinar, you'd see how I said I want him to break this low here, and then go back up from there. And this was a flag, by the way, we didn't sell. I didn't sell it because I didn't think it was going to drop that far, but it did drop that far. Again, I just give you that example in the silver when we were talking, is that I would not be in trades like that because the risk is it could have just broke this low and go back up and we wouldn't have an exit strategy. I think that happened during the news too. If it's not in news, you can take those trades because they're manageable. If it's during a news period, you don't take them because you wouldn't be able to manage it. The chart moves too fast. So let's see if we get a big flat form here, which means this comes here, go there, come back here, go there. This could be something we can sell and something we can buy. It can get much more complex than that, but we'll see. We'll see to that when the time comes. We're coming back here and then we're coming down. I think this is easy, right? You've seen that before and then you look for the upside. So let's see. Go back to the 1 hour. Can we buy this to the upside? Like I said, yes, we can do that if we get a good setup to buy. Right now, this is a small flag that looks downside, so probably let it drop one more. Let this probably do this and drop one more here and then go. We're looking for this straight up. We will be looking for a buy setup. Aussie. Since I'm on the 15, you can see that this piece seems to be like a flat forming here. Right. Remember, this one actually was looking like the same thing, a flat form here, and then it came pretty deep. So we were looking at that this morning and thinking, well, what if we're getting the same thing here, right? This looks like something here, but what if this works its way back to the bottom? Can we trade it? Well, you shouldn't be selling it here, that's for sure. Because the risk is it's going to break this low and make a new high. We haven't broken that up. We're looking for something that is a 1, 2, 3, but this is relatively sharp. So if this makes a flat here, go back to the top and then come back here, we'll definitely be selling it from here. But at this one, you want to make sure that you break the low of the last impulse, which is this one. You want to make sure you break through that. And then you want the correction here. Now this becomes a sell. So in the Aussie case, this was your first sell. Remember that. I think we discussed that, right? This was a maybe, but this was your first sell. Because now you're looking for it to come and retest this low. So we're still in consolidation in Euro. We're still in consolidation in Pound. And we're still in consolidation in Aussie, which means we're still stuck in consolidation on everything. Right? Should this go break the top, we'll sell it to come back here. There is a good chance it will go back up. And then after that, drop. And even when this drop, there's no guarantee it's going to drop to the bottom we're expecting because we have this. So it could literally drop here, pull back like that. And I think I've shown you patterns like these many times. And then drop because we know that it's coming to break this low. We actually figure that out. We're coming to break this low. Remember when this started to move really fast and it consolidated here, we're like, okay, guys, this is coming for the low. Now they're not coming in one shot, right? Actually made this. We knew this was going to drop. We're doing this, and I think I'm pretty much aware that this is going to drop, which means any sell from the break of the top we're taking. Because any one of them could come and retest this low. And then we'll be looking for the upside. Right? Because we're in this bigger daily structure. See that? Now, I think we will go test the top. If they break this low, it doesn't change anything. We are only expecting it to come and break this low. But that doesn't mean that it can break this low. Because if it breaks this low, we will decide whether we think this is the flat and this is going to go up totally, or whether this will make a flat here, come back, retest the low, and then go up totally. But in any case, once you break this, you're going up either for this move or for the bigger move. Who cares? None of you will take a trade here and keep it to the top here. You just can't do it. I know that, right? Because we don't know how deep the pullback will be in this one. And there's no need to even do that. We will get about 10 trades probably going up there. And if you have a sense of the direction and you're buying all the time, then the trades are going to be great. Remember, this is a very small flat in there. We're trying to sell to the bottom here. And if you don't see that sell setup, then why do you think you're going to buy it to the bottom and keep it all the way to the top? Right? So let's see what this is. We don't have a sell setup as yet. We're waiting for it. But we're looking for a sell setup. Pound is the only one we're looking for a buy setup, but remember the first trade might be a drop. So we might get the sell first, right? This might, the idea is if this drop here and we don't get that trade, then we look for the buy. But if this goes and break the top and then drop, we'll be looking for that sell and then the buy. So the charts are getting very complex when they're in consolidation. And this is where the knowledge of, patterns are very, very good. New Zealand, same thing. It did come. It actually missed the top by a few, because if it had broken this top, that would have changed everything in terms of what we think it's doing, right? We could be totally going up, but we didn't break and we're coming down back. There was sell setup and there's probably still sell setup. If you get a flag here, you definitely go for this trade. And then maybe the chances are this one is going to drop to the bottom. This one is also coming for the low on the daily. And the daily, we expect this to drop. It's coming down really slow, but we also expect it to test this low. So right now, it's looking like that is about to happen. Let's see. Go back here. Let's see in the 15 if we get anything. If you were there earlier this morning, you could have got a trade. You should have gone with this one. See that flag? Trade should have been here on this flag because there was no flag here. So that's the first flag. This is the second flag. If this makes a flag here, pull back, we can go with this trade. And when it comes here, get it to break even because maybe go back up, maybe just break through. Most likely break through. So this is a sell setup. It's not complete. You can see in the 5, it's not complete. I'm trying to see if this is corrective enough for this to drop. It doesn't look so. It looks like they're going to stay here a while. This one might kind of do this and then go back up there for a while. So you might get a nice 15 minutes flag here and then we'll go for the sell. If you think it's going to drop right now, you can put an entry under the low buy. This is something only very, very senior traders, people with very good knowledge of wave analysis and trade management should try. Because you would have to manage that trade. Stops above the top. So I don't think it's going to drop now. I think it's going to consolidate here somewhere. And if we get a very nice flag, we'll go with the trade. A nice flag would mean something like this probably. See that? So I want this to actually stay here a while, and then we get this trade. This would be a better trade to trade than the smaller ones. So we will be looking for a sell setup. CAD, so we thought that this is going to make a running flat here, right, like this. And I think we did. I think we actually just did make a running flat, except this one went a little higher. So CAD was a buy from here to the upside, and some traders took that trade, so good. What we're looking for now is a sell setup. If this is the running flat, then this would become a sell setup. It needs to go back a little to the top there, break this one, and then we're looking for this trade down. Now, what if it actually goes all the way back to the top here? And that changes everything, right? We will go back, but this is the smaller expanding flat. Wait for this to come back here, and then we're all the way in the buy to the upside. See how your perspective changed in less than 2 moves? So right now it's a sell. It goes to the top there. It needs to come back here, and it's a buy. Changes everything. That's what pattern does. It gives you idea of what could happen and what patterns you're looking at and which piece makes the best pattern at the moment. And all of these patterns will change if we have different pieces added to it that are showing us that, wait a second, you see that pattern you thought you had there, which is a good pattern. As a flat, it pretty much is not the one. This would be the flat in the future. So let's see. Remember when we thought this could just take off like a rocket, but it's coming back down, and we wonder, well, did it break the top and come back down because that is the top? Or is it just making a much more complex pattern in here than the simple one that we have? What if this is making a huge pattern in here? We don't know that, right? What if this piece is trying to come down here and repeat this one, right? And then we go back up and repeat that, then we come back here, and all of this is still one huge flat for upside. And it's not like you can't stay here. There are patterns where it's in for 8 years now. I think that was in New Zealand, 8 years or 6 years, something like that, where it's just going sideways. So you may assume that it's making a simple one, but then it becomes very complex. In terms of analysis, that important. In terms of trading, it's not. Because in terms of trading, the only thing I'm looking for is if I can get this sell here today. I don't care about a bigger pattern is yet. I just need this trade today and I'll be okay. Now, if it does go up and come back here, then I need this trade for the day. So which one am I going to get? I don't care. Really, it doesn't matter to me which one I get. I just need to see this setup clearly telling me which one it is. And then I will trade that one. Right? So it's not about being right in the forecast and the direction. People say, I said it's going to drop, and look, it dropped. No. That's irrelevant to your trading. You're good at probably getting it, but then would you get a trade? Would you get a trade on it? That's the problem. And if you're a trader, what's important? Getting a trade. Right? Wait for the patterns to set up and get the trade you're looking for. So CAD, we're looking for a sell too. Now, which one would come? The New Zealand sell or the CAD sell? Maybe both. Maybe this dropped first. This one dropped first to there, and CAD just go up a little. We are expecting CAD to go up a little. This takes off to the upside and CAD drops. See, it's possible. Both of those could be correct right now. But what we have right now here is a sell setup. What we have in the CAD is a possible sell setup. Again, I said a possible sell setup because this could go back all the way to the top. And that would change the sell setup once it comes back here, because now we have a flat here for upside. So is this going to happen? Maybe. That's not a trade I could take. But I can definitely sell New Zealand if that happens, because I know this is a trade I can take. See the difference? You're looking at the trade steps and you're making that decision. Which one actually is a trade based on the bigger patterns? Swiss, yep, this is a sell setup too. I think you can, if you know anything about thing, you're looking at that, so yeah, that definitely looks like a sell setup. But if you're looking at a bigger picture of this thing, then that really doesn't look like a sell setup. Because if you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, this here is a flat, this might look like a sell setup, but it might just keeps doing this until it breaks this top, all the way to this top. And only then this becomes a sell setup, because you're going to be looking for this move down. And that just changes everything again, right? Remember when we thought this could be 1, 2, 3? And if this here is 1, 2, 3, with this being the biggest flat in the middle, then we're definitely going back up. We're coming down. We're going back up. We're coming down. And only then we will go. I have to complete all those pieces. And that's how pattern changes, right? And you're looking at it, you're thinking, well, how complex it can get. It can get very, very complex. So although this is a sell setup, it's not going to go very far. All it needs to do is break this low. So that's not a trade. Better for me is if it keeps doing this and work its way up to the top here. And now we can decide we want this sell setup here. We get it. So we'll see. Let's wait and see. Yen. Okay, yen is coming down, but doesn't look like we've made the top. It looks like a correction because this is lower than that. And if we take this as the top, let's go with this as the top, right? Then we have a 1, 2, 3, which is not going up, right? That's not a flat because it's not going up. So if this is the drop from here, this one is going up first. You can see that. So if this goes up here and we drop one more, we still have all of these to go with, right? See all of this here? So we could be stuck here for a while and then break the low as a 1, 2, 3 again. And only then I think we can look at this as a bigger flat for one more up. Now, could it also be a big flat for downside in the end? That is possible. I don't think this is the one that is going to drop through the bottom, but yes, this could make a big flat at the top here. This is still the top, like this one here, right? This is still the top. And when it was making this flat, we literally thought, we assume it's a channel, but we thought this would go here first and then come. We didn't see that big flat as a possibility of dropping. So again, would we see this big flat as a possibility of dropping? Should it go there, come here, go back there, and then drop? I think no, I'm really looking at it as a 1, 2, 3 for upside. And that might be incorrect, but we'll wait and see, right? We don't have any trade on the yen right now. Euro yen, yeah, we're making a flat for upside. This was a small flag. If you traded that, worst case, you got break even, and now it's making another one here. So this is probably just a flat for upside, expecting it to break this stop minimum. So there's a trade to come here. It's not ready. We're still in the consolidation. Yeah, pretty much still in the consolidation, and that will take a while. There is a buy setup here, but I don't think we're looking at this as a contracting flat. There's a small one here. But I don't think I'm looking at this as a 1, 2, 3. I think this one is this, and you're making 1, 2, 3 here, probably come back here and then go. So I'll really consider if I want to buy that. I don't let it break the top and make another flag if this is the low. But I think we're coming to retest this low. Come to retest this low here first. Not a sell, that's a low. So we'll be looking for a buy setup, sorry. And that's it. What I'm going to do for the weekly outlook is I'm just going to show you some of these that we have here and some of the cryptos. But if you would like to see all of this, every one of them there, then you can join us live in the London session. Send me your name, full name, and your email, and you have 1 week free access. So let's go. Let's look at natural gas. Natural gas was a sell. Actually, a number of sells we took in natural gas to come and retest this low. There were more sells all the way from the top because we were looking at this here. And we're thinking, well, this is coming. That was a buy, take that off. This for the sells to come and break the low. Now we barely tagged the low. We broke it, but we barely tagged. So there's a very good chance it might go lower. There's a chance you probably get a correction here and then we drop lower. And then we'll see. We'll be looking for the upside. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Yes. So let's move on. This might still give you a sell setup, but we don't have anything at the moment. It's not in the flag, so we'll just have to wait for some kind of a consolidation and then sell. It's starting to consolidate, but not enough for the sellers yet. I don't think we have enough. No, we don't. You're making a small one here, so you need this to probably come here, go back up, and then we'll start to look at that for a possible sell setup. US oil, if you bought it, you close it. This was a nice one. This one wasn't such a nice one. It didn't go as far as we expected. We were expecting it to come and break this top. This flat reminds you of the one we just looked at, the natural gas, right? When we were expecting the bigger flat to go break the top and then drop. And that actually happened. So if that happened on natural gas, the likelihood is going to happen here too, right? So we wanted to go break that up. It's consolidating at the moment here. So I think this is probably going to come a little more, go back up, come back. That is, if it does what we think it's going to do, this would be a perfect pattern for a buy. We'll just have to wait and see what patterns it gives us, but most likely a buy setup you'll be looking for. Yes, 30. That's a nice buy. Worst case, you should get break even when it moved that much. If you didn't take profit, I think that was a news one. So hope you took profit because that's a big move. And then it came down back. If you didn't, you're going to get break even once it goes back there because it's very likely going to go back there, right? Not right now, but since this is making a consolidation in here, it's probably going to drop and do this. And the depth of this one will tell us if it's upside or if it just tags this top here and it's downside. So once this pattern completes itself, I think most likely we'll be getting a sell setup, right? As long as the consolidation stays at the bottom, most likely we'll expect it to drop like one of these. Now, we don't have anything for this. Everything is completed, right? That's why we knew this was going to go up. So now, if this gives a sell setup, you don't want to miss it. Let me go to the daily. That is the top. We broke the stop already. And I'm pretty sure we have divergence. Yep, we do. Right, we have divergence here, and we finally got internal divergence here in the daily. That's a 4-hour divergence, very clear, you can see it. And I think we have one 4-hour internal divergence, which is a 1-hour divergence. And if you get that sell setup, you don't want to miss it. So I'm going to put look out for a sell setup here and don't miss it. Don't miss that trade, because if you're going to get a big drop, this is one of them that could start it. So keep your eyes on that one. S&P 500, this one went well, depending on whether you grab it at the top here or you grab it at the bottom or you're still in it. That sharp pullback did not go with anything. We don't have anything for that sharp pullback right on the 15. Do we? You can make an argument. No, I don't think so. These are not going to fit in that. So this might still come back here, but it's likely going to go back up a running flat. So I don't think this is finished. A little more upside. And then we'll see to that. We don't have any trade set up there. Not for the buy, not for the sell at the moment. Take this off. And this one is a nice buy too, depending on what you did with your trade at any given moment. If you close and you re-enter, it kind of make a lot of sharp moves. I think I'll most likely put this as a running flat. There's a good chance I'll probably do that. Because we never had a sharp one like this. We got the thing, a pullback, a go, a pullback, and a go. This is the first sharp pullback to match this. So if that's the case, everything is full. What does a weekly look like? Did we break the top? Yeah, we broke the top, and I think we also have divergence. Nope, this case, no divergence, right? So you would have to have a deep pullback like this before you go get divergence. Well, we want to see if we have internal divergence, this and the daily. We do. Daily divergence is there. As a matter of fact, when you come here, you see divergence still, see? But we do have daily divergence, and we have 4-hour divergence. And that's a good sign. That means you can make a very deep pullback. Not necessarily reverse the whole thing, but make a very deep pullback. Go into 1 hour. Yep, there's still some divergence here. I think we can see that clearly. So this pullback is ready. Let's see if we have any trade set up. Go to the 15. And you might get a small 15-minute flat here. You just want this to come a little here. Probably even tag the low and then go back up, make this flat. And then that becomes a sell. This is already shaping up to be a sell setup. So we will look for a sell setup here. It's not as perfect as the US 30, but it's a good one. Tesla. The buy is still going, so it's not a running flat as yet. It could still be an expanding flat. So all you have to do is put this to break even and keep it. When it breaks this top, if it makes another flag, you can buy again. Remember, these are mostly long-term trades, like not very long-term, but medium-term trades where you're expecting this move to go back here. Like when we sold here, you want to keep it to the bottom. 3 trades. Same thing, will take about 2 or 3 trades to the top. Move them to break even. This one is already at break even, so you can't lose. I would probably not even just break even. I'll put an order to sell somewhere here. So should it break through this level, then I'll sell it and you'll get this. That's not much profit, but that's what you can get, right? And when it breaks this top and make another flag here, then we can go with another trade and remove this stop here. And once this can go into break even, we'll put it to break even. And then we'll wait until it makes another big one. And then you go with the same trade, you move all of the stops up and you stay with that. So worst case is you're going to try to get break even. The higher you go, the more you make profit. Yep. If you took the sell from here, you would have closed, re-enter here. You probably would have closed, re-enter here, and then you're probably a break-even trade because there's nothing there. Now it looks like an expanding flat for upside. I still think we're looking for it to be a running flat. It could be an expanding flat. If you get a buy set up here, I'm going to take these off. These were sells. That was a sell from the top. We're going to try to buy it from the bottom now. Right? Take out those two sells. We're going to try to buy this from the bottom going up. So do we have a trade setup? Not as yet, but it's forming, right? So I will put this here and I'll put buy setup, active buy setup. The reason is because sometimes this thing finishes as it is and take off. But most time you'll get a complete pattern, a very big pattern. This is a small pullback. A bigger pullback would be perfect. So it's a buy setup. The only time this buy is not going to be valid is if this work its way down to the bottom. Pull back and then we drop. Now you may want to make an argument for this being a possible running flat here. Not a bad argument, except that we're pretty low into this. And this pattern seems very well. So I think unlikely that we're going to look at it that way. So let's wait and see. We'll decide, we'll come to that. If it comes lower, then we'll assume that that is it. But then the only thing is it'll probably just break this low back up. So we're looking for a buy setup here. Let's see. And this looks like a buy setup, but this is not what we think it is. We thought this one would go break the top. This one is still making a flat. See, we had a flat here, kind of a 1, 2, 3. I think we're doing exactly the same thing here. This one looks like it's going to come here, but this might be more like a 1, 2, 3. And if we make a flat there, then we're coming back to retest this low before we go. So this would be what, a bigger flat here? This is a sharp move down. That's a flat, a sharp move down. This would be a flat, a bigger flat here, and then probably go. Let's see. I don't like the way it's developing, but we don't have any trade setups beside that. So just leave it for now. Take this out. And this didn't go very far, so this could actually be a loss. If you sell this here for the drop to the bottom, your stop should be here. So you're not at the losses yet, but you have no other exit. So just leave this stop there and hope that this comes back to the bottom. This is more of a hope, but what you can do is track this movement now. It could still be that this is a flat and we're going to break the top, but this could pull back pretty deep and give you an exit somewhere here. Right? We don't know it's doing that, but that is a very high possibility. So let's see if you get a deep pullback, you'll exit. If not, this would be a loss if you took this trade. Can it still come here? I still think it's going to come. This could simply be another flat. This could still be a flat here. Make a new high and then start to drop because we're still within this, right? We're still in this consolidation and this is going up correctively. It's not going up as an aggressive move. So as long as we haven't broken this top, or even if we slightly break the top, the chances of this down move is still valid. Take that out. And Nifty. Yep, there's a sell. There was another sell. You should have closed that trade here once it comes to this low. Let's wait and see what happens here. It looks like it's making another flat. And if it makes another flat, we'll sell it. If you want to buy the bigger move up, move this to the top here. That is for when you made 1, 2, 3, if it's going to take up. I don't think it's going to take up because this is sharp. So I see this probably doing is drop again and then make a sharp move up and drop again because this is relatively sharp. So if you get all of this here, you can get another sharp move and then drop. So the upside is not coming right now. Bitcoin. Could be another flat for one more up here. This could be making another flat here. This could drop slightly here, make a bigger flat here, and go back up. But the upside is short-lived now because you're back at the top of the whole structure. See? We're back at the top of this, and this one is really sharp. So even if you break that top, the chances are you will come back for this. Right? See this one here? We did go break the top, but then we came back for that before it goes. Who says we don't get this coming back to the bottom here and then go? So if you get sell setup here, you'll definitely be looking for that trade. If you get buy setup, the only thing you're expecting is that they'll break the top and turn. All right, so let's see which one comes. Right now, it's really at the top. So eventually, this will be a flat for upside. If it works that we have that much, it's going to be a flat for upside. So let's wait and see. There's a very small 1 hour sell setup here. I don't think it's going to go far because either this flat is in play or this flat is in play. So it probably comes here and go back up. So let's sell here at this moment might not be the right one. ETH. Okay, so we still haven't got this sharp wave down. So let's see if we get it here now. Right, then we'll have to get one more up, and then we'll still expect this to come back down. Now, could it be we don't get this and this start dropping? We don't have a sell setup. It still looks like it's going to come down slowly. XRP. Okay, it's coming back now. So the move you're expecting would be this. And then you'll expect this to go back up. Because we didn't break this low. Right? We didn't break that low. So you're expecting an impulse down. Expect an impulse down like this. One more up like this. And then still downside. That still leaves you as a flat like this one, for example. It will be very similar to this flat here. Or maybe, no, not this one. This one is much sharper. And then you get this, you get a running flat here, you go back there, and then you drop one more. And then go back up. We did break this low, and we thought this would go up. But if it makes another flat here, it could drop and go back up. Could it be it making a big flat here, but that flat would eventually go up? Well, you will be buying it, right? You will be buying this one up. And if we're wrong about it, this just keeps going up all the way to this top. I think you know when you get to that top, you will be getting this flat. But I think it's going to do this, drop one more here, and then go for this move. And then this flat is what you're looking at in this impulse. See how easy it becomes now? Pretty easy, right? You go to the daily and you can see that. This here becomes this flat. Once this goes back up to the top there, make this flat, we'll be coming back here. And that will give you this flat in this move up. So you'll definitely get another move up like that. Right? After which you probably will be coming back here. So there's a very good chance we're not going to the tops here anytime soon. We'll eventually get there, but not anytime soon. Right? This thing is going to probably stay at the bottom here for a very long time. So unless you can trade in these range, long-term buying doesn't make sense. It's not going to be now. Wait for a new low and then buy. ADA. Okay, so we made 1, 2, 3. We're coming down. That's expected. Right? You expect this to come back here. Break this low. Go back up really sharp. Test that top. Come back down here. Complete this one. And then probably start going up. So if you're looking at it, you'll be consolidating here for a while. Right? This broke out. It will consolidate here for a while and then go back up. So it's not going. I don't think we're trying to retest the low. There's no point in this retesting the low. I don't see that happening. It could happen, but I don't see that happening at the moment. But I do see this becoming a really big flat. So let's see. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, this one should probably come here. So let's wait and see. Let's see. BNB. I think this is already making consolidation for upside. Consolidate some more and then go. This might not be a contracting flat. This could end up being a running flat. Should this drop here and go back up? But for now, we'll go with it as a contracting flat because this is pretty sharp. Right? So let's wait and see what it is. I'll do 2 more because we don't do all of them. You'll get all of them if you join the thing. So we were expecting Link to drop. It didn't drop. If you're looking for a sell setup here, which was a good idea, it didn't drop. It's at the top here, and we're still in this move, but we still haven't got this one. So at some point, we still get that. Let me go back to the 4 hours. So if we're expecting this to continue to go up, which we think it's going to happen, at some point you get this, complete this flat, and then you start the upside from here, right? So at some point this is going to happen. Let's wait and see. Pull back and then go. Can you buy at the top there? Well, you can, but there wasn't really any good buy setup. It just moved up. That's about it. I wouldn't say that that's a good buy setup. Do we have anything that is That's not even making sense as a pattern, which means I think we're going to stay here for a while within this move. Let's see this one. I'll go. Okay, it did make the up move, and there's a good chance we're looking for a down move now. Right, it made that up move. And from here, we probably could get a sell setup. And if you make a flag here, that would be a good sell setup. Right, if this is to drop here and make a flag, sorry. If this one is to drop a little more and make a flag here, this would be a perfect sell setup for downside. And Gala. Yep, this is coming down. It did break the top, and we are expecting it to come down once it breaks that top. So we expect one more drop. I expect this to drop one more. Let's see if we get that drop now. I expect it to drop one more, then we'll be looking for the upside. So let's see. Let's see how that comes. Right now, it looks like it's about to come. You just need a flat here or a flag to sell. You need something here to start selling. If we get it, we'll sell. Most likely, you need something like this. That would be a really good sell setup. So for my YouTube traders, if you like it, please make sure you share the videos. And I would like to see you in the group this week. If you manage to watch to the end, right? You have free access for 1 week. This is last week remaining for the free access. And then we'll be closed for at least the next 6 months, right? You can still join the group if you want, but you wouldn't have free access for the next 6 months or so. So thank you very much. Trade with care. See you next week. Maybe during the week, I'll put out a video for you guys. I'll see how time permits that. Thank you. Goodbye.